So, we've looked at ways to avoid repetition of writing code within the one script. However, it's quite possible that having written a function, we'll find that we want to use that function within more than one script. And although it may seem like it would be possible to simply copy and paste the function definitions from one script to another, that will cause problems when, as inevitably will happen, you'll either find a bug in one of your functions and you'll have to fix it, in which case you'll have to go through every script in which you've included the function and make that change, or you'll find a new, more efficient way of writing that function. And the same will apply. You'll have to go through and make the change to every script in which you've defined that particular function. A way to get around this problem is to store in a separate PHP script a set of common function definitions which you can then load in to every script in which you're going to need them. Let's look at an example of the way this could work. If we have a look at our sendFeedback.php script that we made in a previous chapter, then we could, for instance, make a function out of this line. Let's do that. And we're going to include that at the end of the script. And we're going to call the function isValid. We better call it isValidEmail to be absolutely precise about that. And then we're going to just simply say return this value. So it'll return either false or true depending on whether this pattern is found and therefore on whether the email address given fits the pattern for a valid email. Then we can go back up in our script and we can simply call this function by using the bang symbol and then isValidEmail with the email variable. If we save that, and our script should now work in exactly the way it has always done. But we've improved it in that we have this function which is now separate from the rest of the code. However, if we wanted to check for a valid email in another script, then we'd be better off including this function as an external file, an external resource. Let's first of all save this to the clipboard by the cut command, and we're going to open up a new file, and our include file is going to look exactly like any other PHP script. I'm going to use the same tag, and then we're going to save that, and we're going to call it validation. And it's a good idea for your include scripts to give them a useful name at the end, such as inc for include. Let's save that, validation inc, and we're going to go back to here. Now our function definition has been taken out of the file, and the way we include that file is simply to use the include function. Validation.inc, and we should save our validation.inc file along with, in the same folder as the sendFeedback.php file and any other files that will be using the validation.inc functions. Let's save that. One thing to remember as well is that although in this example we only have one function. It may well be that we have a set of standard functions, any number of functions within this one file, that we can then load in and use in any of our scripts. So this is a very flexible way of working. If we take a look at our feedback form and we try and enter an invalid piece of data into the email field, and as we can see, it's picked up that we've entered an invalid address. If we go back and change that to something more reasonable and submit those details, as we can see, it's accepted it. So we can see that even though the isValidEmail function is not present in the sendFeedback.php script, it's treated in exactly the same way as if it is by using the include function. Now there are two rather similar functions which carry out very similar tasks, one of which is the include function we've just used, and the other is the require function. Now the include function will only be carried out if the part of the script in which that statement is contained actually gets carried out. So say if we kept it within an if condition, then we could possibly make our script run slightly faster by only using this code if we were going to need it. For instance, if we use the include function here, and instead of putting it on this line, we put it down here on this line, then we'd only load the validation file once the PHP script had got past this set of conditions, and so only if it was needed would it be included. The require function, on the other hand, will always load the included file no matter whether or not that part of the script is ever going to be evaluated. The plus side for the require function is that, and I'm not sure of the reason why, it works slightly faster. So once again, a matter of what works in the particular script and your personal preference. However, it should be noted that errors can spring up if you load the same include file twice. So it's a bad idea to put a command like this into a loop or into any part of your script which is going to be executed more than once.